So, hello everyone. Today we are going to study chapter 3, that is reproductive health. You have learned about human reproductive system and its functions in chapter 2. Now let's discuss our closely related topic, reproductive health. What do we understand by this term? The term simply refers to healthy reproductive organs with normal function. However, it has a broader perspective and includes the emotional and social aspects of reproduction also. According to the World Health Organization, reproductive health means a total well-being in all aspects of reproduction. It means physical, emotional, behavioral, and social. Therefore, a society with people having physically and functionally normal reproductive organs or normal emotional and behavioral interaction among them all in sex related aspect might be called reproductively healthy. Why is it significant to maintain reproductive health and what are the methods taken up to achieve it? Let us examine them. Reproductive health and problems and strategies. India was among the first countries in the world to initiate action plans and programs at a national level to attain a total reproductive health as a social goal. These programs, called family planning, were initiated in 1951 and were periodically assessed by over the past decades. Improved programs covering wider reproduction related areas are currently in operation under the popular name Reproductive and Child Healthcare RCH programs, creating awareness among people about various reproduction related aspects and providing facilities and support for building up a reproductively healthy society are the major tasks under these programs. With the help of audiovisual and print media, governmental and non-governmental agencies have taken various steps to create awareness among people about reproduction related aspects. Parents, other close relative, teachers, and also have a major role in dissemination of the above information. Introduction of sex education in schools should also be encouraged to provide right information to the young so as to discourage children from living in myths and having misconceptions about sex related aspects. Proper information about reproductive organs, adults and related changes, safe and hygienic sexual practices, sexually transmitted diseases. AIDS would help people, especially those in adolescent age group, to lead a reproductive healthy life. Educating people, especially fertile couples and those in marriageable age group, about available birth control options, care of pregnant mothers, post natural nature of the mother and child, importance of breastfeeding, opportunities for the male and female child, etc., would address the importance of bringing up social conscious healthy families of desired size. Awareness of problems due to uncontrolled population growth, social evil like sex abuse and sex related crimes need to be created to enable people to think and take up necessary steps to prevent them and thereby build up a socially responsible and healthy society. Successful implementation and various action plans to attain reproductive health requires strong infrastructure facilities, professional expertise, and material support. These are essential to provide medical assistance and care to people in reproduction related problems like pregnancy, delivery, STDs, abortion, contraception, menstrual problems, infertility, etc. Implementation of better techniques and new strategies from time to time are also required to provide more efficient care and assistance to people. Statutory ban on amniocentesis for sex determination to legally check increasing menace of female foeticides. Massive child immunization, etc. are some programs that merit mention in this connection. In amniocentesis, some of the amniotic fluid of the developing fetus is taken to analyze the fetal cells and dissolved substances. This procedure is used to test for the presence of certain genetic disorders such as Down syndrome, hemophilia, sickle cell anemia, etc., determine the survivability of the fetus. Research on various reproduction related areas are encouraged and supported by governmental and non-governmental agencies to find out new method or to improve upon the existing ones. Do you know that Saheli, a new oral contraceptive for the female, was developed by scientists at Central Drug Research Institute in Lucknow, India? Better awareness about sex-related matters, increased number of medically assisted deliveries, and better postnatal care leading to decreased maternal infant mortality rate, increased number of couples with small families, better detection and cure of STDs, and overall increased medical facilities for all sex-related problems, which is all indicate improved reproductive health of the society. population stabilization and birth control. In the last century, all around development in various fields significantly improved the quality of the life of the people. However, it increased the facilities along with better living condition, had an explosive impact on the growth of population. The world population, which was around 2 billion in 1900, rocketed to about 6 billion by 2000 and 7.2 billion in 2011. The similar trend was observed in India too. Our population, which was approximately 350 billion at the time of our independence, reached close to the billion mark by 2000 and crossed 1.2 billion in May 2011. A rapid decline in death rate, maternal mortality rate, and infant mortality rate, as well as in an increase in number of people in reproducible age are probable reason for this. Through our reproductive child health RCH program, though we could bring down the population growth rate, it was only marginal. According to the 2011 census report, the population growth rate was less than 2%. It means to 20 per thousand per year rate at which our population could increase rapidly. Such an alarming growth rate could lead to an absolute scarcity of even the basic requirements. It means food, shelter, and clothing. In spite of significant progress made in those areas, therefore the government was forced to take up serious measures to check this population growth rate. The most important step to overcome this problem is to motivate smaller families by using various contraceptive methods. You might have seen advertisement in the media as well as poster and or bills etc showing a happy couple with two children with a slogan "Hum do hamare do, we two our two." Many couples, mostly the young urban working ones, have even adopted and one child norm, statutory raising of marriageable age of the female to 18 years and that of male to 29 year, and incentives given to couple with small families are two of the other measures taken to tackle this problem. Let us describe some of the commonly used contraceptive methods which help prevent unwanted pregnancies. An ideal contraceptive should be user friendly, easily available, effective, and reversible with no or least side effect. It also should in no way interfere with the sexual drive, desire, or the sexual act of the user. The wide range of contraceptive methods are presently available, which could be broadly grouped into the following categories, namely natural, traditional, barrier, IUD, oral contraceptive, injectables, implants, and surgical method. Natural methods work on principle of avoiding chances of ovum and sperm meeting. Periodic abstinence is one such method in which the couples avoid or abstain from coitus from day 10 to 17 of the menstrual cycle when ovulation could be expected. As chances of fertilization are very high during this period, it is called fertile period. Therefore, by abstaining from coitus during this period, conception could be prevented. Withdrawal or coitus interrupts is another method in which male partner withdraws his penis from the vagina just before ejaculation so as to avoid insemination. Lacto, lactational amenorrhea, absence of menstruation method is based on the fact that ovulation and therefore cycle do not occur during period. Intense lactation followed parturition. Therefore, as long as the mother breastfeeds the child fully, chances of conception are almost nil. However, this method has been reported to be effective only up to a maximum period of 6 months following parturition. As no medicine or devices are used in these methods, side effects are almost nil. Chances of failure through of this method are also high. In barrier method, ovum and sperm are prevented from physically mating with the help of barriers. Such methods are available for both males and female. Condoms are barrier made up of thin rubber latex sheet that are used to cover the penis in the male or vagina or cervix and female just before coitus so that the ejaculated semen will not enter into the female reproductive tract. This can prevent conception. Nirod is a popular brand of condom for the male. The use of condoms has increased in recent years due to its additional benefit of protecting the user from contracting STIs and AIDS. Both the male and female condoms are disposable, can be self-inserted, and thereby gives privacy to the user. Diaphragms, cervical caps, and vowels are also barriers made up of rubber that are inserted into female reproductive tract to cover the cervix during coitus. They prevent conception by blocking the entry of sperm through the cervix. They are reusable. Spermicidal creams, jellies, and foams are usually used along with these barriers to increase the contraceptive efficiency. Another effective and popular method is the use of intrauterine devices. These devices are inserted by doctors or expert nurses in the uterus through vagina. These intrauterine devices are presently available as the non-medicated IUDs, lips loop, copper releasing IODs, CUT, CU7, multi-load 375, and the hormone releasing IODs, progest, progestest, LNG20. IUDs increase phagocytosis of sperm within the uterus, and the CU ions released suppress sperm motility and the fertilizing capacity of sperm. The hormones releasing IUDs, in addition, make the uterus unsuitable for implantation and the cervix hostile to the sperm. IUDs are ideal contraceptives for the females who want to delay pregnancy or space children. It is one of the most widely accepted method of contraception in India. Oral administration of small doses of either progestogens or progestogen estrogen combination is another contraceptive method used by females. They are used in the form of tablet and hence are popularly called pills. Pills have been taken daily for a period 29 days, starting preferably within the first 5 days of menstrual cycle. After a gap of 7 days during which menstruation occur, it has to be repeated in the same pattern till the female desires to prevent conception. They inhibit ovulation and implantation as well as alter the quality of cervical mucus to prevent retard entry of sperm. Pills are very effective with lesser side effects and are well accepted by the females. Saheli, the new oral contraceptive for the female, contains a non-steroidal preparation. It is once a week pill with few side effects and high contraceptive values. Progestogens alone or in combination with estrogen can also be used by females as injection or implant under the skin. Their mode of action is similar to that of pills, and their effective periods are much longer. Administration of progesterone and progestogen estrogen combinations or IUDs within 72-hour coitus have been found to be very effective as emergency contraceptives, as they could be used to avoid possible pregnancy due to rape or casual unprotected intercourse. Surgical method, also called sterilization, are generally advised for the male or female partner as a terminal method to prevent any more pregnancy. Surgical intervention blocks gamete transport and thereby prevent conception. Sterilization procedure in the male is called vasectomy, and in that in female is called tubectomy. In vasectomy, the small part of vas deferens is removed or tied up through a small incision on the scrotum. Whereas in tubectomy, small part of fallopian tube is removed or tied up to the small incision in the abdomen or through vagina. These techniques are highly effective, but their reversibility is very poor. It needs to be emphasized that the selection of a suitable contraceptive method and its use should always be undertaken in consultation with qualified medical professionals. One must also remember that contraceptives are not regular requirement for the maintenance of reproductive health. In fact, they are practiced against a natural reproductive event. It means conception or pregnancy. One is forced to use these method either to prevent pregnancy or to delay or space pregnancy due to personal reasons. No doubt, the widespread use of these methods have a significant role in checking and control growth of population. However, their possible ill effect like nausea, abdominal pain, breakthrough bleeding, irregular menstrual bleeding, or even breast cancer, though not very significant, should not be totally ignored. Medical termination of pregnancy, MTP. Intentional or voluntary termination pregnancy before full term is called medical termination of pregnancy, MTP, or induced abortion. Nearly 45 to 40 million MTPs are performed in a year all over the world, which account one-fifth of the total number of conceived pregnancy in a year. Whether to accept or legalize MTP or not, it is being debated upon in many countries due to emotional, ethical, religious, and social issues involved in it. Government of India legalized MTP in 1971 with some strict condition to avoid its misuse. Such restrictions are all the more important to check and discriminate and legal female fertilizers which are reported to be high in India. Why MTP? Obviously, the answer is to get rid of unwanted pregnancy either due to casual unprotected intercourse or failure of contraceptive used during coitus or rapes. MTPCs are also essential in even fatal either to the mother or to the fetus or both. MTPCs are considered relatively safe during the first trimester. It means up to 12 weeks of pregnancy. Second trimester abortion are much more riskier. One distributing trend observed is that majority of MTPs are performed illegally by unqualified quacks, which are not only unsafe but could be fatal too. Another dangerous trend is the misuse of amniocentesis to define the sex of unborn child. Typically, the fetus is found to be female. It is followed by MTPs. This is totally against what is legal. Such practices should be avoided because these are dangerous both for the young mother and the fetus. Like effective counseling on the need to avoid unprotected fetus and risk factors involved in illegal abortion, as well as providing more healthcare facilities, could reverse the mentioned unhealthy trend. Sexually transmitted infections. Infections or diseases which are transmitted through sexual intercourse are collectively called sexually transmitted infections, STI, or venereal diseases, or reproductive tract infections, gonorrhea, syphilis, genital herpes, uh, chlamydiasis, genital warts, trichomoniasis, hepatitis B, and of course, the most discussed infection in the recent year, HIV leading to AIDS, are some of the common STIs. Through these HIV infections is more dangerous, and this is discussed in detail in chapter 7. Some of these infections, like hepatitis B and HIV, can also be transmitted by sharing of injection needles, surgical instrument, etc., with infected person. Transfusion of blood or from infected mother to fetus too. Except of hepatitis B, genital herpes, and HIV infection, other diseases are completely curable if detected early and treated properly. Early symptoms of most of these are minor, include itching, fluid discharge, slight pain, swelling, etc. in the genital region. Infected females may often be asymptomatic and hence may remain undetected for long. Absence or less significant symptoms in early stages of infection and social stigma attached to STIs deter the infected person from going to timely detection and proper treatment. This could lead to complication later, which include pelvic inflammatory diseases, PID, abortion, stillbirth, ectopic pregnancies, infertility, and even cancer of the reproductive tract. STIs are the major threat to healthy society. Therefore, prevention or early detection and cure of these diseases are given prime consideration in the reproductive health care program. Though all person are vulnerable to these infections, their incidences are reported to every high among person in age group 15 to 24 years, the age group to which you also belong. There is no reason to panic because prevention is possible. One could be uh, free of these infection by following simple principle given below. First, avoid sex with unknown partner or multiple partners. Always try to use condoms during coitus. In case of doubt, one should go to a qualified doctor for early detection and get complete treatment if diagnosed with the infection. Infertility. A discussion on reproductive health is incomplete without a mention of infertility. A large number of couples all over the world, including India, are infertile. It means they are unable to produce children in spite of unprotected sexual cohabitation. The reason for this could be mainly many physical, uh, congenital disease, drugs, immunological, or even physiological. Psychological. In India, often the female is blamed for couple being childless, but more often than not, the problem lies in the male partner. Specialized healthcare units, infertility clinics, etc., could help in diagnosis and corrective treatment of some of these disorders and enable these couples to have children. However, here such correction are not possible. The couple could be assisted to have children through certain special techniques commonly known as assisted reproductive technology, ART. In vitro fertilization, IVF fertilization of the body in more similar condition as that in the body, followed by embryo transfer, is one such method. In this method, popularly known as test tube baby program, over from the wife and sperm from the husband donor are collected and are induced to form zygote under simulated condition in the laboratory. The zygote or early embryos with up to 8 blastomeres could then be transferred into the fallopian tube. Zygote intrafallopian transfer, and embryos with more than 8 blastomeres into the uterus, ITU, intrauterine transfer, to complete its further development. Embryos formed by In vivo fertilization, fusion of gametes within the female also could be used for such transformers in those female who cannot conceive. Transfer of an ovum collected from the donor into fallopian tube, GIFT, gamete intrafallopian transfer of another female who cannot produce but can provide suitable environment for fertilization and further development is another method attempted. Intracytoplasmic sperm injection, ICSI, is another specialized procedure to form an embryo in the laboratory in which a sperm is directly injected into the ovum. Infertility cases, either due to inability of the male partner to inseminate the female or due to very low sperm counts in the ejaculates, could be corrected by artificial insemination. In this technique, the semen collected either from husband or a healthy donor is artificially introduced either into the vagina or into the uterus. IUI, intrauterine insemination of the female. Though options are many, all these techniques require extremely high precision handling by specialized professionals and expensive instrumentation. Therefore, these facilities are presently available only in very few centers in the country. Obviously, their benefits are portable to only a limited number of people. Emotional, religious, and social factors are also deterrents in the adoption of these methods. Since the ultimate aim of all these procedures is to have children, in India we have so many orphaned and destitute children who would probably not survive till maturity unless taken care of. Our laws permit legal adoption, and it is yet one of the best methods for a couple looking for parenthood. Our chapter is finished. Let us go to summary. Reproductive health refers to a total well-being in all aspects of reproduction, being physical, emotional, behavioral, and social. Our nation was the first nation in the world to initiate various action plans at the national level toward attaining a reproductive healthy society. Counseling and creating awareness among people about reproductive organ, adolescents, and switch changes, safe and hygienic sexual practices, sexual transmission infection, including AIDS, etc., is the primary step toward reproductive health, providing medical facilities and care to the problem like menstrual irregularities, pregnancy-related aspect, delivery, medical termination of pregnancy, STIs, birth control, infertility, postnatal child and maternal management is another important aspect of the reproductive and child health care programs. An overall improvement in reproductive health has taken place in our country as indicated by reduced maternal and infant mortality rate, even early detection and cure of STIs, assistance to infertile couple, etc., improved health facilities and better living condition promoted an explosive growth of population. Such a growth necessitated intense propagation of contraceptive methods. Various contraceptive options are available now, such as natural, traditional, barrier, IUDs, piles, injectables, implants, and surgical methods through contraceptives are not regular requirements for reproductive health. One is forced to use them to avoid pregnancy or to delay or space pregnancy. Medical termination of pregnancy is legalized in our country. MTP, generally formed to get rid of unwanted pregnancy due to rapes, casual relationship, etc., are as also in cases when continuation of pregnancy could be harmful or even fatal to either mother or fetus or both. Infection or diseases transmitted through sexual intercourse are called sexually transmitted diseases, pelvic inflammatory diseases, stillbirth, infertility, as some of the complication of them. In early detection facilitate better cure of these diseases, avoiding sexual intercourse with unknown multiple partners, use of condom during coitus are some of the simple precautions to avoid contracting STIs. Inability of to conceive or produce children after 2 years of unprotected sexual cohabitation is called infertility. Various methods are now available to help such couples. In vitro fertilization followed by transfer of embryo into the female genital tract is one such method and is commonly known as test tube baby program. Thanks. Our chapter